I hope you're doing well this Saturday morning. Just wanted to share a little bit of kind of what I'm doing in the daily podcast, and that has to do with looking through the plagues of Egypt and looking through the lens of the creeds, where it says that God is the creator of all that is visible and invisible. I'm speaking about the visible realm, or the invisible realm, sorry. So in Exodus, in the plagues, what you get is God defeating the gods of Egypt, dethroning them in the eyes of God's people who have been in Egypt a long time, and they've seen the wonder, the splendor, the power, and all that of Egypt. And so easy to then believe that their gods are, great. And his express purpose is dethroning the gods in the eyes of the Egyptians themselves. And in so doing, he gets glory. So Pharaoh himself, remember, or if you don't know this, is a representative of the humanity of one particular god. So he is the manifestation of that god. And so I want to quickly sort of give you Egyptian cosmology from creation myth. And so you've got a watery chaos, sun rises out of it, and so the sun is Atum Ra. And so then a landmass arises, and that landmass is ultimately called Heliopolis, which is the city of the sun. And so it's Egypt. And like every other creation story that I know of, it cites the center of the earth, the beginning of creation in the land where the people are whose creation story it is. There's one exception to that. That exception is us. The book of Genesis, first chapter, cites the beginning of creation not in the land of Israel. It's up actually where Babylon is, where Iraq would be. And so it's an unusual thing to say that, to be honest with you. Unusual in all mythology. So and it's not, the sun doesn't create anything, the sun, moon, and stars don't create anything. Nothing. God alone creates. So, but in the Egyptian myth, so you get this creation, and then you get gods that handle initially things like the moisture and the air on the earth, and then you get the sky, the earth, the moon, the stars. All those things are represented. So what you end up with pretty quickly is you get the gods Isis and Osiris, and so they then have a brother named Set. So Isis is a goddess, and Osiris is a god. So Set is jealous of them, that they're not just brother and sister, they're also husband and wife. So Set decides to kill Osiris and then dismember his body and threw the pieces of the body in the Nile. Isis is very upset about this, goes and gathers the pieces, and then sews them back together, and then is told by another god how to reanimate the body of Osiris, and so does this spell, and he comes to life, and then they procreate together, and they have a child, and that child's name is Horus, Horus. So what happens is Isis, realizes that her brother Set is going to try and kill her child as well. And then, so what does she do? She takes the child, well, she has the child in the reeds in the Nile. So to hide him from this jealous brother until he grows up, and as he grows up. And throughout their lives, then, lives are, we're talking about gods. So, Set and Horus are constantly at war with one another throughout, as the time goes on. Well, here's what I would suggest to you. I would suggest that it's certainly really odd, that story is, because Pharaoh is the living embodiment of Horus, the one who was conceived and hidden among the reeds in the Nile. So Pharaoh's origin story is that story of being hidden in the Nile from one who would kill him. Does that sound familiar? It should. It should sound like Moses' origin story. So when he's taken into the household by Pharaoh's daughter, then we automatically have a situation set up where, wait a minute, his actual story matches the presumed mythologized story of the Pharaoh himself. So the question can be easily raised: who is the real Pharaoh? And so there's an old television show that I watched when I was a kid, and it probably went away when I was 10, 12 years old. It's called To Tell the Truth. And so there would be three people come out, and they would each say, I am so and so, whatever that name was. So it would be, I am Pharaoh, I am Pharaoh, I am Pharaoh. And then panelists would ask questions, and they would ultimately try to determine at the end of it which one is the real Pharaoh. Well, that would certainly be the case here, and there would be a jealousy because it would be this open question based on the story. And they would know this. They would have known Moses' origin story. So there would have always been this open question. So when God calls Moses and sends him back to Egypt, what does he say? Those who sought your life are no more. When Moses steps into the argument or the mistreatment of the Jewish slaves by the Egyptian taskmaster and then kills the taskmaster, is he acting as the true Pharaoh? And in all the plagues in Egypt, are we seeing Moses is the true Pharaoh, even of Egypt, because his God is the true God? So there's a lot more going on than meets the eye in this, but it's a fascinating story. Hope you have a great day. God bless.